Saturday. This is Sherry Brandell from Style Tips with Sherry, and I am so excited to bring you a special guest on makeup for the mature skin. This entire month of July, we are going to be focusing on aging and what happens to that skin of ours and the hair of ours and our bodies, and what happens and what do we have to, like, what should we do with it? But every week we're going to just talk about something different, and today we are going to talk about the subject of makeup and skin, and we're going to dig into it on the mature skin, and I have the perfect person here to help me out, and it is none other than Nancy Joseph. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. So good to be here.
I am so glad that you're here. Will you tell them about you? Now, for those of you who are watching, Nancy also has gone through our Christian Image Consultant Academy. And so I just want her to share a little bit about what she does, what she focuses on, and her journey in life regarding what she does as a profession. Take it away, Nancy.
Okay, yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. This is my jam. I love talking about makeup. I was actually born on National Lipstick Day, so it's no coincidence. You know, God is funny like that, where I am a professional makeup artist and I'm also an image coach. So I love helping women just feel confident from the inside out, with the focus being on the makeup. So this has taken me from my 40s, and my specialty is the mature skin. And so yeah, this is my calling, and this is where God has placed me. So I'm excited to be able to share some things with you today.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy that you're here. All right, so you live in Florida, right?
Yes, I forgot that part. I live in Naples, Florida, beautiful Naples, Florida. I am married to my high school sweetheart, 37 or 38 years. I almost lost count. And I have two beautiful daughters, and I am a Glamma. I have a 2-year-old grandson.
Glamma. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm a Grammy, but I might want to be a Glamma. That's pretty darn cute. Actually, my son-in-law did come up with that name in the beginning. He's like, you really need to be Glamma. But I just didn't do it. I didn't bite the bullet on that one, but that's so cute. That's adorable. I love it so much. All right, so let's get into talking about makeup. Now, here's the thing. You guys are going to be so excited because Nancy filmed a 5-minute makeup for you. So you're going to be able to walk through and watch it. And I would suggest that you sit down in front of your own bathroom or mirror, wherever it is, and do your makeup. But I'm going to ask her some questions before we get into the makeup, because I got to see the video already and it's spectacular. But even I had some questions. And so I'm thinking, okay, so if I have some questions, I know that Nancy, that other people are going to have questions as well. So, all right. So Nancy, here's my first question. In the beginning of the video, you talk about having their skin already prepped. Can you explain what that means?
Yes, absolutely. I think in order to have beautiful, flawless makeup, we need to start with your skin, and just a cleanser and a moisturizer, and then some kind of primer, just something to really prep the skin so that when you're applying makeup, it just goes on nice and smooth and it just looks more natural. And you're just taking care of your skin that way.
All right. So do you think that people need to have the same skincare? So if they're using a moisturizer and a cleanser, should that be from the same brand, or does it really not matter anymore?
I believe that when you have something that is kind of made to all work together, that's good. It's easy for you, because when you buy something and then when something runs out, it kind of all runs out at the same time and you can just replace it. But I think the main thing is just to use something, not necessarily a certain brand, but make sure you're using things that are for your skin. If you have oily skin, then you want to make sure that that it's working for oily skin. If you have dry skin, you want to make sure that the product is helping with the dry skin. So you might have to pick and choose from different brands, but that's okay. And I recommend that you get like a nice little tray. I have a little silver tray that sits next to my sink, and I have all of my pretty bottles of skincare on there. And it's like self-care, it's just every morning and every evening when I'm starting my day and ending my day, it's just that time that I have for myself, just to take care of myself and make me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. And last week in my newsletter, I asked the women, I said, send me back a reply. Like, what are you most concerned about with aging? And so many of them said skin. But one woman said, my mother always told me, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. And I thought, amen, sister. That is so important. I remember my mom had me at the makeup counter when I was in the 9th grade, because I had terrible acne and I was breaking out. And I love the fact that she took me there. So if you're a mom watching this and your daughters or your granddaughters are really concerned about their skin, take them and get them some help. Go to a makeup counter, call somebody that that sells makeup and say, hey, what can happen? Because what can you help us with? Because I know that helped me a lot with my confidence. And so I really recommend moms and grandmas to do that. All right, so if you're a grandma, I guess you have to get the mom's permission though, so or on grandma's weekend, you don't,
right?
maybe, I don't know. So then the next thing you said on the makeup, on the makeover video, was that they should put on either a BB cream, a CC cream, or a light foundation. Okay, so a lot of women might not know what a BB cream or a CC cream is. Can you explain that?
Yes, absolutely. So a CC cream is almost like a color corrector. It's almost like a concealer and a foundation in one. And same thing with the BB cream. It's just very lightweight. It's almost like you would consider it like a tinted moisturizer. You've got a little bit of pigment. You've got some moisturizer in there, so that the coverage isn't so heavy. Because as we mature, the lines start to show up, and nothing's worse than just covering your whole face with a really thick, highly pigmented product, because then that emphasizes everything. So a BB cream, a CC cream, or a lightweight foundation is perfect for mature skin.
Okay, awesome. And where would they find something like that, a BB or a CC?
You can find those. You can find that in the drugstores. You can find those at the cosmetic counters. You can just even do a search on the internet for BB cream, CC cream, and you'll get all kinds of choices. If you prefer to use things that don't have any harmful ingredients, then you can do a search for that as well. They're pretty much, it's easy to find,
Okay.
either in the stores or online.
Okay, fantastic. So here's what I'm going to ask you, Nancy, that ladies, when you're watching this, if you have questions or comments and want to put it in the comment below, I'll ask Nancy if she would look over those comments next week as comments are coming in, and maybe if you'll answer those for us.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. That sounds great.
So one of the things that I noticed in your video is that you put your foundation on with a brush, and you didn't even say anything. It was just so natural, like, oh, I'm just applying this with a brush. And I'm like, oh, I've never used a brush for my foundation. So tell us about that.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways that we can apply foundation, and either using your fingers. And the reason I don't recommend that is just because they're telling us not to touch our faces. Like, so the more that you can not touch your face, the better. And you don't get a nice application if you're using your fingers. Also, another option would be maybe a sponge. And what that does is it soaks up a lot of product. And so now it's wasteful. So a lot of your product is going into the sponge, and then you have to keep that clean. And it's not as easy to keep that clean as with a makeup brush. So the makeup brush just allows for the foundation just to go on so much more smooth, and it just looks more natural. And you'll see in the video that the way that the technique that I use for the foundation, it really helps for mature skin, and it really helps to make the skin look more vibrant just by using a certain technique. And that's something that we need to consider while we're applying makeup, is we're not applying makeup the same way we've been applying it for the last 30 years. the techniques need to change. So I've covered that in the video.
Oh, I love it. And so if they're going to get a brush, does that come in a brush kit, or do they look for what's called a foundation brush? Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's called a foundation brush, and there's a couple different kinds that you can do. There's one that's like a flat paddle brush. I have one that is, this has a flat top to it. And I was trying to see if I had my paddle brush. Yes, here's my paddle brush. This is what a paddle brush looks like. And it's just flat, and you can, yeah. So there's a couple different, and they are called foundation brushes. So they're easy to find.
Okay, so here's an exciting thing. If you are coming to Beauty Boot Camp this October in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Nancy is hosting individual makeup appointments and is going to walk you through all of that. And I am so excited. It's your first time at Beauty Boot Camp to actually do, it's not your first time at Beauty Boot Camp, it's your first time to actually do makeovers. So we are so excited. And when you gave us your price, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like hardly anything. So what is it? What's your price going to be? I forget. We can just say it here. Just say it might encourage somebody else who's not signed up for Beauty Boot Camp to come.
Right. It's the price is going to be $30, and this is for an hour makeup bag makeover. So yes, we're going to cover everything about your makeup bag, expiration dates, the right brushes to use. We're going to even do a whole complexion and a classic look.
So, I am so excited. I think I probably need to sign up for one of those as well. Oh my goodness, an hour, that's incredible. So anyway, I digress. Then another thing that you talked about in the makeup, and I know everybody's like, let's just get to the makeup video, but I gotta explain this stuff, or Nancy has to explain it. The blush placement. You said something that I've never heard before. I've always smiled and put it on my cheeks, but you said do it on the cheekbone because we're not always smiling. And I was like, huh, that makes so much sense. So that's a thing. And I'll give you a twofold question here. You also said to get a pinky peach blush. Now we use the color code system around here, and I know you're trained on that as well. So it kind of goes for everybody, you know, like a pinky for the cools, the peachy for the warms, and you know, and then everybody in between. But so answer both of those questions for me, if you'll expound on those just a little.
Yes. So the placement is what's so important. And that is, like you said, if you're smiling when you're applying your blush, it's right here. And then when you're not smiling, it's down here. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give the illusion that we're lifting things up. So the perfect positioning for your blush is going to be on the top of your cheekbone, and it's kind of like swept back towards your hairline, and this gives it picks things up. So this is a great anti-aging kind of, like, we're smoke and mirrors here with our blush. And the color, the reason for the color is if we don't get the color right and we're just all cool, instead of and it just will sit on the skin and it'll be really obvious. So when we have a little bit of cool and we have a little bit of warmth, so we got a little bit of pink and a little bit of peach, it just is a more natural look. And so that's your best bet when you're doing blush.
I love that. Okay, so you said something, and we weren't going to talk about hair today, but I'm just going to say one thing. When you said we put it on because we lift up, if you'll notice, I got my hair cut again, like 4 weeks later, and it's shorter, keeps going shorter. But I noticed that when I have little things up here that sort of lift, I have cat hair all over the place, sorry. It kind of lifts my face and I look better. It's almost like a natural like a natural facelift. Is that like a thing?
Absolutely. That's the whole purpose. We want to just bring in, lift things up. So that's exactly it. And your hair looks amazing. I noticed you must have got a cut.
Thank you. Thank you. I have cat hair everywhere here. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, and for those of you who've been watching me for a while, you know that a cat has to appear in every video or it's just not Saturday, right? So, oh my goodness. All right. And then you talked about eyebrows, which is definitely something that we get sparse eyebrows. Our eyebrows get lighter. And eyebrows are so important. So I don't think we have to go over too much of that. But ladies, you want to make sure that you fill in your eyebrows with a blonde pencil or a shadow that's similar to the color or something like that. The other thing is, I kind of skipped this because it's sort of in the beginning of your makeover. Concealer. One of my biggest issues is under eye. Oh my goodness. So talk to us about concealer and what kind we should use.
Okay, yes, exactly. So a lot of us have that darkness under the eye. So the old way of applying concealer with a younger face would be that you would just put the product right on the discoloration, the bags or so-called, whatever, and so the way that I want you to apply concealer now is not just going right onto the bags or the darkness, because now you're putting some weight on the skin and you're actually pulling it down even more, because you've got product that's just going to sit there and the skin isn't as smooth anymore. So there's a special way in the video. I show you a technique on how to really apply it so that it brightens the under eye area and it just makes you look fresher.
Well, I have to say, I used that technique today. I have always put it on with my fingers, and that's my big issue. So I used it today. I think my under eyes look a little bit better. So, all right. And then you finished up with lips, and you said we should have a natural color. And I think that's so true, especially as we get older and we get lines around our lips. Let's talk about the lines a little bit. What do we do for those lines? And kind of just walk us through the whole lip area process.
Okay, yes. So as we mature, our lips are getting smaller and smaller. Like even Mick Jagger is going to have tiny lips one day. And so we have to just, first of all, make sure that your face is moisturized, right? So just keep that area nice and hydrated. What I like to do too is if I'm using an eye cream and I have a little bit left over of my eye cream, I like to put that like right above my lip just to give that extra hydration for the lip area. And if you want to keep your products from really traveling off of your lip and going into the lines, you can use some kind of a lip liner. And I would recommend using a color that's the same color as your lips. That way, if your product on your lips wears off, you're not left with this dark ring around your lips, because that's very aging and outdated.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the video now.
Hi, Ageless Beauty. Are you confused, frustrated, and overwhelmed with your makeup? I understand. So I have a solution for you. This is a 5-minute makeup, and it's also hot flash friendly. So let's jump right in. Have your skin already prepped, cleansed, moisturized, ready to go. And then I want you to start with a like a CC cream or a BB cream or a lightweight foundation, just a little teeny tiny bit. Less is more. That's the key for a mature makeover. So we're going to start in the center of the face. This is where we have the most discoloration, and the technique is going to be to tap. Instead of pulling and tugging on our skin, we're going to tap our foundation on our face, starting in the middle and then just working your way out. We don't want to cover the whole face, and otherwise we'll look cakey, clown-like. So that's how you're going to apply your foundation. Next is going to be a cream concealer. So go ahead and get a cream concealer. Most of us have this darkness right here. So this is where I want you to apply. Pull down and just do a couple dots there, right here. Using your ring finger, you can go like this, kind of press that into the skin. Don't tug. Your ring finger is the lightest, the weakest finger on your hand, so that we won't pull too hard. And then a little bit here on the eyelid is fine too. Then you're going to want to set everything with like a translucent powder. So I put a little bit in the lid, and then very lightly. We don't want to look powdery, so this is just to keep everything in place and keep everything from moving. Next thing is going to be your blush. I want you to have a color that's going to be peachy pink. And the way you're going to apply it is going to be on top of the cheekbones. We're not going to apply it on the apples of our cheeks, because if we're smiling and it's here and we're not smiling, it's there. So we're trying to bring everything up. So we're just going over here on the top of your cheekbone, like that. And then you're going to do your eyebrows. Now, They may have thinned out. So what I want you to do is you might have a lot here and then not as much here. So the key is we're going to start here with your color, and you're just going to fill this in here, little strokes, and then come up over here and fill in any sparse hairs. That way your brow won't be too bold and drastic and unnatural looking. So now I have a little hack for you. I'm using the same blush, and I'm using a fluffy brush, and we're going to use this as an eyeshadow. Here is a technique that I want you to use if you've got a lot of crepiness, and that is we're going to go right in the crease, and you're going to do little circular motions to apply the product instead of just sweeping it back and forth. Because if we've got that crepiness, we want to have a nice finish there. So a little bit of that blush and little circular motions. That way you don't have to have separate eyeshadows. Just use that same color. Everything's harmonized. Next is going to be your mascara. The best way to apply mascara is going to be to go right at the base of your lash and wiggle back and forth to get a lot of product there, and then pull it up like you're brushing your hair. So I say you like brush, brush, brush like you're brushing your teeth, and then pull it up like you're brushing your hair. I only use mascara on the top lashes. If you put it on the bottom, you have a better chance of start creating some shadows and some smudging and that type of thing. I try to stay away from that. All right, and then you're going to finish off with a lip color, a nice neutral lip gloss, and there you go. There's your 5-minute face. All righty, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Nancy, that was incredible. And I know that women are going to love being able to get their makeup on in 5 minutes or less, but thank you so much. Oh my goodness, that was incredible. And ladies, if you want to meet Nancy, you can come to Beauty Boot Camp. So go to my website and check that out. We'll put a link below, but fashionmeetsfaith.com. And there's all kinds of things on there about Beauty Boot Camp. You click the link and it will take you. But Nancy, where could the people who are watching you find you? Maybe somebody lives in Florida and they're thinking, I want an in-person makeover, or maybe you do online things, and I know that you do, but talk to us about that and tell us where your website is.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, if you want to come to beautiful Naples, Florida, yes, please come. I would love to see you. And I'm also I'm online, and I do virtual appointments, virtual makeup appointments and style appointments. It's nancyjoseph.com. And what I have for you is 8 beauty tips, common mistakes and techniques for women over 40. It's a cheat sheet, and it talks a couple of the items were from the video, but it just gives you some ideas on how we need to change the techniques that we're using, and also some of the common mistakes that you want to avoid. So that's at nancyjoseph.com /freebies. nancyjoseph.com /freebies. And you can get a copy of the cheat sheet there.
That's fantastic. Thank you for spending the day with us, or the last half an hour, however long we've been on, probably not even that long, but thank you. And I will see you in Myrtle Beach in October. And ladies, don't you want a break? Don't you want to get out somewhere? I'm thinking by October, we're all going to be good. So I hope to see you at Beauty Boot Camp as well. Thank you, Nancy, for spending your day with us. And I will see you soon. Bye, everyone. See you next time.